Yeah, they are here. So we're going to learn something from Tanya, chapter 29 at the end. It's a very, very long chapter. It's mostly dealing with somebody who's feels like his heart is like stone. So they're stuck and they're in a place where they feel they can't overcome their evil inclination. So the way I interpret in my mind this chapter, it's dealing with somebody who's maybe addicted, an addict. An addict it can feel very, very stuck. And no matter what they'll think, or no matter what they know, no matter how strong their brain power is, or how much they'll convince themselves and think about it, they're not necessarily going to remove the heart of stone. So that's chapter 29. The Rebbe gives us that's very this, how do you say, dysregulating. It keeps a person uncalm. So how do we get calm? How do we get inner peace? Tanya gives us the answers. Before that, I want to bring you something that we were learning last week in my morning class. We do the Parsha from the Rebbe from 1991. He brings Tanya to the next level. So in Parshas Noach, which Noach means calm, okay, or menucha, rest, it's the Parsha where Hashem promises that the world will not be destroyed again. He makes a bris, a covenant with Noach, that he'll never destroy the world. And the sign for it was the rainbow. So we're guaranteed that Hashem is going to keep the world running. The sun is always going to come up. We'll always have the orbit of the moon, the sun, and the world, and the planets as they are. God is not going to stop that. That was the promise to Noach, and he made a bris, a covenant. So that's just that idea is calming. But the Rebbe in last week's Torah portion, and that last week's 1991 talk to everybody, he said now's a good time to take like a self-reflection on what we've gained from the whole month of Tishrei, the spiritual heights, the insights, the aha moments, the resolutions, and see how we brought it down into action in the tangible physical world with our physical body in this first week after Tishrei is over. So, and then the Rebbe says, if we take an accounting, and we shouldn't get down and out and depressed or upset with ourselves that we haven't accomplished what we intended to, because instead of focusing on what we haven't accomplished, taking an accounting can bring us to admitting and knowing. I just pressed the button, admit somebody into the class. It's very important not to just deny and say, oh, everything's fine and everything's not fine, okay? We can't be, in order to grow, we can't be in denial and just pretend, okay, that everything's okay when it's not. On the other hand, we don't want to get depressed when we take a self-reflection and accounting and we see we didn't get, so how do we get to to be able to admit and know where we're holding and yet not get depressed by it, okay? If we haven't reached all our resolutions, maybe we haven't even started our resolutions. Maybe we're completely realizing that or wondering if we'll ever get to any of the resolutions. So instead of getting down and out, the Rebbe says, think about how you can do tshuva, and the tshuva, the reason that you're in the state that you're in, the whole place that you're finding yourself that you're not happy with, it's only to bring you to a higher level through the tshuva that you will gain. Meaning, according to Chassidus, knowing your state, not being in denial, knowing where you're holding is helpful when you turn it around and see it instead of, like berating yourself for it, you turn around and saying, I have so much growth and so much change and so much uplifting to get from this. The tshuva is going to bring me to the even higher level. So to focus, that's what the Rebbe says, focus on what the tshuva that can come out of this that can bring us to even higher level than we were before. So meaning there's a reason why we find ourselves in this lower state than we wanted to, and that we are able to acknowledge it, reckon with it, and say, wow, this is now our opportunity to spring forward and grow. So it's a shift. It's a shift in our normal tendency could be to just berate ourselves, to be upset with ourselves, to get down and out, depressed, bitter, whatever, and stuck, God forbid. That's what the Yetzer Hara would like, our evil side. However, our evil inclination, even that, the Rebbe says in end of chapter 29, the Tanya talks about it, even, this is the secret, even our evil inclination, which was put into us, was just put into us to test us, to help us grow. So the evil inclination itself that we have really wants us to overcome our temptations and our negative thoughts or negative feelings, wants us to overcome it and grow from the experience, not get stuck in it. It was even the evil inclination does its job to get us, mebulbal is what the Rebbe calls it, get us confused. That's the job of the Yetzer Hara, is to confuse us. But its job is to confuse us in order for us to grow, not in order for us to God forbid, not grow from it, to fall from it. So when we do overcome this confusion that the Yetzer Hara does, even the Yetzer Hara, the Rebbe says, is happy when we overcome it. And that's from Tanya, the end of chapter 29. So let me read to you from inside. This is an answer from the Rebbe in a couple of letters that the Rebbe wrote to people who talked to him, I guess, about inner calm and confusion and fighting with their evil inclination, their difficult side, their difficult part of them. He says like this: when the Yetzer Hara sees that after all the work that the Yetzer Hara has done to try to get you enticed and removed from your core, from what you really want, what your inner self, your neshama really wants, and you didn't, the person didn't listen to its words, and the person's doing like his good inclination is, then even the Yetzer Hara is happy about this, because not only didn't bring the person down, but he actually caused the person to have more reward for standing and withstanding this test and staying ne'eman lakono, loyal to his creator. So that's one letter. Another letter there also writes to somebody, I got your letter from the beginning of Adar, and I was very happy to read that you're at peace and you're having shalom, and you're trying to find times and ways to influence people in your area around you to bring peace into their area. So the Rebbe says, how do you gain peace? How do you bring peace? Physical peace depends on spiritual peace. And the Rebbe says, take for example, even health, person's physical health. How they found, and it's become clear, that a person's physical health and well-being depends on how the nerves of his soul are, how much peace he has in his soul, right? If a person's stressed, there's cortisol in the body. It's a physical reaction, which is unhealthy, which causes damage to cells and stress. That I added, the Rebbe didn't say this. Since a Jewish person has two souls that are in conflict with each other, they're at war with each other. Milchama is a war. Because one of our souls is spiritual and it wants to do Hashem's will, right? And the other soul is physical. You can't have peace between them in one way, unless in doing one's will, unless you have the only way you can have peace, the only way, it's not by giving into the physical, it's by the winning of the godly soul. Why? Because if, God forbid, it would be opposite, there would not be peace. Why? Because even when a person, because even if a person sins, God forbid, the godly soul is always going to stick with it's not going to jive and ride with the person, be happy with the person. The godly soul will always stay connected to Hashem. That's like explained in Tanya at the end of chapter 24. Not only that, the Yetzer Hara, though, is in the end, if a person negates the evil inclination, the lower side, the Yetzer Hara of the person is going to be happy if the person doesn't listen to him, doesn't listen to their evil side, their bad side. Because even the evil that's the Yetzer Hara that's put into us is happy when a person wins it and overcomes it, and the person gets reward for overcoming it. Right? That's even the evil inclination knows that's its job. And look in the end of chapter 29, and in the Zohar it talks about it also. Okay, so and another little excerpt, it says a person who sins, like when we say we do tshuva and we ask Hashem forgiveness, we admit that we've sinned with our Yetzer Hara. And the Rebbe says the purpose of the Yetzer Hara, it was created in order for us to overcome it. And even the Yetzer Hara, that's its will, that we should overcome it, like it says in the end of chapter 29, and it talks about chapter 27. And there was, we don't have to talk about this at length because it's explained in many places, and that was just coming to remind us about it. So that's the secret to well-being, to come harmony, inner peace. Hashem created us to have this stress. Okay, now stress is interesting. It's good in a way. The stress gets us to overcome things. My husband was a civil engineer for many years when he was younger, and the whole basis of one of the axioms that they learn at the very beginning is to learn how, and to determine how much stress things can hold. Okay, to build a bridge, to build a pillar, to build there has to be a certain amount of know-how, how much stress can, in volume, weight, and density, whatever it is, the thing that they're using can withhold. And then, depending on the amount of stress, that's how much the bridge can can hold, or the pillar can hold. So yeah, it's Hashem creates us with that stress of having a Yetzer Hara inside of us that's kind of trying to distract us, kind of trying to get us a mebulbal is the words the Rebbe says, confused. But the whole point of this confusion is not for us to criticize ourselves. Why am I getting confused? Why am I getting distracted? Why am I getting lazy? God forbid. Instead, say this is my opportunity for this inner strength is for me to overcome it and to get to much, much deeper, higher, closer, accomplished, connected, joyful, pleasurable connection to Hashem than I would if I would have just not had that distress or stress, inner stress at all. So it's the difference, though, between now and times of Mashiach is that times of Mashiach, we won't have any of this inner stress. We'll have overcome it. We'll have we'll be able to connect to Hashem only from a place of going from level to level spiritually, without this distress or stress of without having to overcome. And it says in the future we're going to actually we're gonna how do you say, we're gonna yearn for the days when we had this stress, when we're able to have this free choice to overcome our evil inclination, to bring ourselves to higher levels of inner peace, inner connection to our higher levels. This is our opportunity now. So instead of getting down and out about it, be excited. Wow, today I can really clean up my house. Today I can really organize things. Today I can really overcome my whatever it is that my procrastination has been, and get into the swing of things using my neshama, my higher soul to accomplish what I need to accomplish in this physical world. So that's my point. If you want, you can ask questions or say something, or Rae can do the meditation.
Mayra. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Mayra.
So, good morning and happy,
morning.
I guess, standard time. I guess it's 11:19 and not 10:19. A little bit of drama about this morning, some stress.
Sorry. 1 second. Right now it's because of the time change. Yeah.
Yes. So, Yehudit, I'm fascinated. My father was an engineer, and I don't understand any of it, and I think it's so fascinating. And what you said about learning about in engineering school about the way I understand it, how different materials, what kinds of stressors and how much and for how long and from what angle, and if it's this material or that material. If we're building a bridge, that's exactly what the meaning of the life that's in the soul of that bridge. That soul of that bridge is to hold it, to be able to hold up cars so they can get safely from what place A to place B. Stress is built into its neshama, if you will. If it doesn't have stress, it can't be a bridge. Maybe it's a place where we can plant trees or something like they do in some communities. So that maybe we bear stress as the way of taking on whatever it is that we're meant to do in this world. That was just a thought. So
Excellent.
Thank you for the analogy.
I love it. Thank you for the feedback. I just thought of the analogy as I was teaching. I didn't think of it before. So yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You expanded on it. That's a great point. If you didn't have the stress, the bridge wouldn't work. Yeah. Our stress brings, yes, and our stress, meaning, pushing ourselves beyond what our normal physical inclination of our body is, pushing beyond our physical, and engineering utilizing the stress of the body though to propel the neshama to higher heights. It's all about using the two together, using the body with the neshama. We don't throw out the body or the stress of the body completely. We use it to grow. Yes, we need it. We need the body. Yeah, we need that bridge. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. You're talking about pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone.
Yes, pushing ourselves out of our comfort. We don't negate that we have a body. We use our body, and we do put stress on the body. We do, right? I was reading somewhere. When people get older, if they don't use their body, right, it atrophies. It's better not to avoid, stressing the body. It's better to push our body to work beyond, like you said, beyond our comfort zone. So the same thing is with the inclinations of the body is to be maybe lazy or to be just comfortable and not to stress and not to be jolted or pushed. So we don't need, it's better for people though to walk when they don't want to walk and climb stairs when they don't want to climb stairs, push themselves a little bit beyond. So yes, put the effort of bringing our godly soul, consciousness, and desires and wills into our body. Maybe puts a stress on the body, but it's good for the body and it's good for our soul and it's good for the two to bring Hashem into the world.
And also, I've learned this morning, thank you very much, that the Yetzer Hara is like weights that I should be lifting to make my arms stronger. That extra, the weight of the.
That's another analogy.
Makes the muscle fibers.
That's good.
To work better.
I love that analogy. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll take that analogy a little further.
Yeah.
Like the way muscle is built is that you are actually tearing the muscle when you lift those weights. And then the muscle is built by rebuilding itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's also like a great explanation of the teshuvah process. We're tearing ourselves apart in order to rebuild ourselves stronger.
Yes.
Exercise our free choice to stay to our Creator.
Right. So what I love about it is the way that the Rebbe turns things around. Instead of being upset at ourselves, and criticizing ourselves and saying, oh, I'm being lazy, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that. Instead of, God forbid, just be don't be in denial. Recognize where we're holding. Oh, yeah, right now I am maybe pushing off something good I could be doing right now. Right now maybe I am procrastinating. That's definitely my Yetzer Hara. So we recognize that the Yetzer Hara is in play over here, and yet we use that moment to say, "Wow, I'm going to take on something to deal with the procrastination rather than just." Be upset with it and deny it or run away from it. I'm going to embrace it. Like this is a wonderful opportunity for me to bring my neshama's will into the picture, and that brings the true harmony, is what the Rebbe says. That brings the true inner peace. Because our body really does want to cooperate and work with our godly soul. Yes.
Doing the will of the neshama brings true inner peace.
Yes, have it, right. And it won't work the other way around. Just coming, let's say, just working with what the body wants, the Rebbe is saying the neshama will never be happy or at peace. So if you want to have inner peace, have this, then you got to give into the godly soul, the neshama that wants to do Hashem's will. Otherwise, there'll always be that inner tension inside.
And if you want inner peace, give into your godly soul.
Yeah. Yes, because the godly soul will never rest and never be disloyal to Hashem. Will always be attached to Hashem. Will always be, unsatisfied, or if it's not getting its way, there won't be any inner peace. Whereas, so that's the whole point. Whereas the Yetzer Hara will be with inner peace if we don't give into it, because ultimately it's just doing its job to test us, and it will be very satisfied once we overcome
it. It's an agent of Hashem.
What?
It does Hashem's will. It's an agent of Hashem.
It's an agent, yes.
The Yetzer Hara is.
The Yetzer Hara is an agent, yeah. Good. So Rae, are you ready to do meditation?
Good. Mushki, Goldie, or Chava, do you want to contribute any godly drops you picked up from today's teaching? Okay, we'll do the meditation then. And then we'll do the journaling based on your bridge analogy, both of you. That's a fun one to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And draw out. So I think also this is a very good, what are we on, daylight savings time now? Very, very, very good theme for daylight savings time, because you're talking about falling back in order to spring forward, right? That's our mnemonic for remembering which way the clock goes. Okay. So let's do a meditation on inner peace and staying loyal to our creed and giving into our godly soul. Okay. Take a very nice, happy breath. A conscious, focused, happy breath. Because we are doing the will of our Creator. So lengthen your breath. Make it longer and deeper than you usually do. And really breathe into your inner core, wherever you feel like that is. And breathe in all of that love and trust of the Creator in you, because He created you, and here you are. And breathe out anything that feels disappointing, feels inadequate, any negativity. Breathe it out and let it go. Breathe in again. A beautiful, healing, cleansing, purifying breath directly from Hashem into your physical body, healing every cell in your body, every part, all of the animal soul, bringing it all together to unite with the godly soul, working together as you breathe in and heal yourself with the healing breath of Hashem. And breathe out anything that feels dark and not light. that feels confused, breathe it out, let it go. And next breath, breathe in clarity as Hashem blows your soul into you. That part of him that is a messenger inside of you. Staying loyal to the Creator who's breathing it into you in every moment. And feel the deep inner peace of that connection to Hashem, his trust in you to fulfill your mission, and your loyalty to him at your hardest, even when you're resting. Breathe out any critical thoughts, any disappointment in yourself. Breathe it out, let it go. And one more time, with this breath, breathe in all of the infinite strength of the Creator into you. And he's breathing into you. And that tremendous inner strength that you can draw from at any time to overcome whatever direction the Yetzer Hara tries to draw you in order for you to resist it and to strengthen and grow. And just relax into that unity. Take a little bit of that with you as you go beyond yourself, out of your comfort zone in this new year. Take all of the inspiration from Tishrei and unite it with your inner strength to go to the next level. The next level of Gula. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. All right, take your journaling supplies and draw a bridge. This bridge is a bridge between, you can take it any direction you want. Again, mine are just intuitive suggestions I'm picking up on the spot, and I invite you to use your own intuitive suggestions that you make up on the spot with us too. This bridge is between the animal soul and the godly soul, or between us and Hashem, or between last year and this year, who you were last year and who you are now at a new, completely different level. And a bridge between what you wanted to achieve last year to how you're going to expand on that this year.
Say that again. The neshama, the body, last year, this year. What else did he say?
Old self, new self. Okay, and then if you've heard any folk stories, maybe you've heard the three billy goats gruff. And under the bridge, there's a troll in that folk tale. I can't even remember this story now, although I've told it probably hundreds of times through the years. Anybody remember three billy goats gruff? Oh, come on, Mary, you must remember it.
I'm about to go to my handy internet and look it up.
No, don't worry about it. I'll do it while you're doing the next steps. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
I think he wanted them to pay a toll each time they would go over. I just don't remember the rest of it.
All right, that's perfect. That is perfect. All right, so underneath that bridge, draw, I'm going to try to do it, Mushki. Try to remember it. So underneath that bridge, draw a troll, that ugly Yetzer Hara, challenging monster-y type thing. And it's demanding a toll.
So I would say underneath the bridge, but in the middle of the bridge, not like on the floor. No?
Underneath the bridge, like on, I don't know, it could be, you could put it wherever you want. You could put it at one end of the, if it's going to demand a toll, maybe it's on the bridge at one end trying to stop you from crossing the bridge. Let's do that.
Or at the beginning.
Yeah. So
on the outset of the journey.
Right. In the hero's journey, it's called resisting the call. Right? We have a call to go from who we were in 5784 to who we are becoming in 5785. We are on our hero's journey already in Mar Cheshbon, no holidays, nothing. It looks like a desert. And we're setting out all enthusiastic and excited from all of the inspiration of Tishrei. And we get to the bridge to cross over, and there's this troll demanding a toll. All right, so you can label the troll with whatever disguise the Yitzhahara is taking to try to stop you from moving forward into your new go beyond self. And you could draw a coin shape or a circle or a dollar bill shape and label that as what is the toll. So let's see, how should we interpret the toll?
Well, somewhere there's free choice.
Okay, good. So the toll is your free choice. The choice you're making to get beyond that troll onto the bridge while staying loyal to your creator. Ooh, I wish I had done the note taker.
Okay, so I think Ray, just my little insight as I'm drawing this is at the beginning of the journey, it's not just the body and the end is the soul. The both beginning and the end have body and soul. We're working together with the body and soul. Just at the beginning of the journey, the body and the soul are fighting with each other in conflict. And at the end of the journey, the body and the soul are at peace with each other.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so at the beginning of the bridge, you have the troll that's fighting with you. And once you pay the toll, which is your free choice that keeps you loyal to Hashem, then the troll is happy and you're happy.
Yes. And then also the toll we can pay joyfully. With our free choice, we can happily pay the toll. We can choose to do it happily, or we can choose to pay begrudgingly if we want. Our choice. They say the whole world is a narrow bridge. And the main thing is not to be afraid.
That is it. The troll is the fear.
Okay, so another insight I have. So to draw this, I took one of my old notes that I didn't finish. And it was a note from a class. I don't know from when. I didn't write the date. It's a shame. So the notes were about, it has a crown at the top, which is pleasure in Hashem, learning Chassidus, learning Torah on the deepest levels. And then there's like these pillars coming down from this crown, which are the pillars of mitzvahs, the different mitzvahs. Love of Hashem, Shabbos, tzedakah, all these things. They're like the pillars, the 620 pillars. Okay, so then I did the bridge at the bottom. So the pillars that are holding up the bridge are really the mitzvahs. Okay, here I'll show you I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
A little bit.
It's a little sketchy. It's not with marker yet. So
it's a sketchy sketch.
Sketchy sketch. The pillars are going down from that crown through the mitzvahs, the pillars of the mitzvahs, and it's becoming like the pillars of the bridge also. The bridge is underneath it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we choose to do good, we choose to do mitzvahs, that becomes the pillars that hold up the bridge.
And those pillars help you, they edify, they strengthen the bridge because they're edifying you, they're helping you to withstand the mechanical stressors of life, the demands, the enticements, the responsibilities, the pleasant things, the unpleasant things.
Yes.
And you remain loyal through mitzvah.
Yes, it's true. And it makes them also pleasurable if we have them attached all the way back up to the crown. So if we're connected with the crown, which is the pleasure of Hashem and the mitzvahs, then we can do them with pleasure and with joy.
I love how you bring in pleasure into this process, Yehudit, because I think we think of things like stress management and making ourselves better and doing tshuva, but it's a drudgery, it's painful, it's hard work, and maybe it's all of those things, but there's a joy because we're serving our Creator. It's a joy because we're being the bridge that we were created to be. May I share mine?
Yes.
So I don't know if all I've got is my phone camera. I don't know if you can see. I drew for some reason, a rather steep bridge. And my troll, he isn't asking, I guess it is a kind of troll. He's shouting, he or she is shouting, I want you to pay homage to me. I want you to pay attention to me and tell me how pretty I am and spend time with me and worship me, essentially. And here's the dollar bill we were talking about. And then I thought about how would I symbolize telling the Yetzer Hara that it's a beautiful, pretty thing. Maybe I would bring it flowers, God forbid. But here, I thought, how am I going to overcome this guy that's telling me to do the wrong thing? Here, I'm shouting at him. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to remain loyal to Hashem. And I'm going to use my anger at you because this is such a steep bridge. I built stairs to help me climb the bridge.
Wow. Your father was a good civil engineer. No, but it's interesting that you're saying we are about getting angry at the Yetzer Hara. That's exactly what it talks about in chapter 29. When the Yetzer Hara is being really stuck or really stubborn, to overcome it, you can overcome it by getting angry at it. It's appropriate.
Right. So then this is a healthy and appropriate anger. Use of anger.
Exactly.
Yay! Thank you.
Okay, Mashkir Golda, you want to share anything? This was a good one. I got a big troll.
So you have a higher bridge.
I don't know. Well, yeah, it is a higher bridge.
Yes, and I think also the bridge, it's not just a bridge that takes us back down to the same place we were before. We can make our bridge go and they take us up higher. No, but no, the truth is that we are supposed to come right back down to this physical world, not stay up high.
You know, I think there's a lesson from the internet that could help us also. There's a concept called trolling, which we have seen a lot in this election, which means taking what the troll has said and amplifying it and making it yours. You know, making instead of it bringing you down, it makes you more powerful. For example, when Biden called half the country garbage if they followed Trump, and then Trump's